ReefDVMs coming at you today with a very cold December day. It's about -16 below with about a northeast wind about 5 miles per hour. And due to popular request, we thought we'd start out by just doing chores this morning like we always do. So here we are. We leave the garage. We grab a couple of our pails that need to be moved over, and we always grab the morning garbage. Get it out into the barn where it belongs and get the pails put away. This is basically a run through of how our day goes in the morning. We have all the feed set from the night before, so basically we just got to put the feed in the horses' stall, so we're ready to bring them in for the day. Our horses are out most of the night, even in the cold nights, and then they come in during the daytime where we can feed them and check them over and work with them. This is what they prefer. They're used to it, especially the giraffes. We do pick their stalls in the morning. That way they're clean for when they come in, and we'll do pick them again when they leave. Once we get the stalls picked and cleaned and we're kind of happy with how all that looks, we got to get the last of the feed in the stalls, which is typically a couple bales of hay broken between the two stalls and shoved in. Those flakes, they like to eat them when they're inside. They've got free choice round bales out in the field too. Once we got the stalls kind of prepped for the horses, we normally got to go and get the gator ready to do some work. And at 16 below, it's best to plug the diesel in. So she's plugging it in here with my daughter and getting it all ready. While she waits for that to get ready, she's going to go back and grab, again, the next pail of feed. And she's going to go out and feed the steers. We've got a couple steers that we're planning on butchering this spring. They're doing real well in the first paddocks out here. It just snowed last night, a couple inches, but as you can see, since the snow, we've been out here a few times, and the kids have been out this morning sledding. So it's been, a little foot traffic here and there, but we're going to get out here. We're going to get these guys fed for today. They've got free choice round bales, so it makes it a little easier on us. We don't have a ton to do with them each day, just basically get the grain sources out to them in the morning, and then check the water and make sure it's working. As you can see, they like their grain. Snowed last night, so she's just going to take the snow out of the feeder here so we're not dumping it on top of snow. And then she's going to dump that in, and those guys will just munch away. They're out of their little stall there now, so they'll stay out most of the day and eat hay. Check their water. It's running great here. That's what Tabitha's doing. And then we're going to go across to the other paddocks here on the other side, and we're going to grab these two horses, get them into the barn, get them fed, and let them have some time away from the weather, so to speak, and warm up, and get to check them out and give them some treats and stuff. The big girl here obviously, really does like it outside. Once we get the halters on them, they're pretty easy to bring in. These guys come in about, say, 10 o'clock in the morning, and we'll take them out around 4 or 5 in the afternoon, depending upon the day. They like it inside during the daytime. At nighttime, they get to go out and do whatever they want and eat hay and check the place out. So we'll get these guys into the barns, get them into their stalls, and let these guys start to eat. Sometimes because there's a delay between when we get the horses in and when we get the stalls prepped, we do the water once they're already in the stalls. We have some really nice waters that we picked up from Ram, insulated kind of bucket things with lids on them, and they work really well for keeping the water not frozen all day. At 16 below like this, the water would probably stay unfrozen for about 18 to 20 hours. Then it'll start to freeze. Oh, it's funny, she's got to push Jewel back in just to get the door open. She's always sticking her head out. Wash stall has hot and cold water, but it won't make a difference. Even using cold water on a day like this today is going to steam. So it'll look like it's really hot, but it's really not that hot of water. It's just that everything steams when it's this cold out. Typically we do about half a 5-gallon pail between the two of them. So once we got these guys watered, get them a couple treats. And basically, we turn the heaters on above them and just let them warm up and have 5-6 hours of just relaxing afternoon. And we'll shut the barn up and let the heated floors just keep them warm underneath. One thing nice about the heated barn floors is the shavings in the stalls don't ever freeze, which is really nice. Makes it a little easier for us. What she's doing here is she's prepping for the next day, making their feed buckets and stuff up. She's going to do this for both the horses here and the cattle, which is kind of nice. Once she's got these ready, then we're all set for the next morning to make it easier. We just find this is the easiest way for us to do it. Everybody's got their own technique. A few last treats here, and it's about, 10 o'clock here in the morning. And the horses and the beef chores are pretty much done for the day. So now we'll finish up with these guys, just let them rest in here, and head out to the chickens. And we got to take care of them and check the greenhouse. I think the wind said it was about 5 miles an hour, so the wind chill's probably pushing about 20, 25 below. These birds do really well in this weather. Chicken coop is not heated. We do that so they don't get respiratory illness. But they seem to do really well as long as they stay nice and dry. Kids already been out here this morning and taken several eggs out of here already. But we check a couple times a morning when we're doing chores, just to make sure the eggs don't freeze. If it's above 0, we don't have to check so much. But occasionally we still find eggs. There's one. And then the birds have got some scratch blocks. Typically we rotate the scratch blocks just so that they can, get to the good corners and edges. Chickens like them. Chickens like them a lot. This is one of their roost perches, and we just have a scratch block on it up there. Just basically a bunch of grain all pressed together. They love it. And it's off to the greenhouse. Nobody's been to the greenhouse yet since yesterday's snow. Snowed a couple inches, I think maybe 3. So we just got to clear it out a little bit so we get the door opened up. And right now there's not a lot of things started in the greenhouse, which is good. But we want to make sure that the temperature is okay in there and things are staying decent since this is relatively new building for us. Just checking on things, basically. Feels good to get in here. It's reading about 44 degrees in the greenhouse with a little supplemental heater, so it's doing just fine. And my battery in my camera starts to die, so I head back in the house to switch out batteries. And my wife went back to the chicken coop here, and she's just going to clean some of the manure off the couple feeders and stuff. And then we'll catch back up with her as she brings the eggs back up to the barn, to which we can get them ready for sale. Catch back up with her. She's got several of the eggs that she's picked up. We don't wash eggs here. We will sometimes, if we have to, wipe them quick with a towel to break off any manure that's on them, but typically they're really clean. She candle lights them just to make sure there's no frost cracks or anything. We stamp them with today's date with like a soy ink, and then we refrigerate them until we're ready to sell them or use them. That's pretty much it for the chickens. We've got some free-range animals that we got to go out and get some corn to every day, which works out really good to use the gator. So get the 855D here going. We'll get out here. Again, like I said, since the snow, we're going to be busting through a little bit of snow, nothing bad. But you might see a little flurries here on the camera. It's not too far out here. We get out to the main pasture here. And basically, we put out about, half a bag of corn. I like to use cracked corn. They do better on it. Use one of the old deer feeders is the easiest way to actually feed these things in the winter. That way the animals can just come into the feeder and munch right out of it. The bin feeders work too, but I find the birds and the other wildlife and the coons and stuff just come in and eat their feed before they come in. So I like using these deer feeders for it. It works really well. So once we got those guys fed, we're going to turn right back around. We're going to go back up to the barn, and we're going to release the horses for the day. Now, granted, there's a time lapse in here of 4 or 5 hours, but I at least wanted to show it. So here it is afternoon. We're taking the ponies back out. I appreciate you guys watching. Please like or subscribe. We'll keep showing you great videos like this. And for all those people that said, well, what are the chores like on your farm? These are the chores on our farm. This is it, folks. Typical day for us. Most of it done in the morning with just a little bit of turnout in the evening. Folks, have a wonderful winter season, and continue to like or subscribe, and we'll put out great videos like this.